In our world, Howard Phillips Lovecraft was born in 1890. He spent his short life toiling as an unknown horror writer, expressing in prose his terrifying vision of a cosmos full of eldritch gods bent on humanity's destruction. But in a world not too distant from our own, Howie Lovecraft was born in the late 20th century, and now expresses his own unique vision in comedy clubs on the East Coast. Come with us into this not-too-distant world and witness the strange journey of H.P. Lovecraft, stand-up comedian.
You look kind of dazed.
That was an experience.
Well, it looked like you were into it.
It definitely had an effect on me, for sure.
A good effect?
I don't know. I couldn't stop watching you. That's for sure.
That's a good effect, right?
Usually it would be.
But what?
But it was really out there. It was, practically speaking, not actually stand-up comedy kind of at all. It was a very, very brave new direction to try, and I want you to know that. It really takes guts to try such an experiment like that.
Mm-hmm. You're doing that thing you do where there's something you don't want to tell me?
What thing?
Oh, like when I get you a birthday present and you open it and it's something you hate, you always find one genuinely nice thing to say about it before you shove it under the couch and forget you ever saw it.
That's a thing I do?
It's pretty sweet, actually.
I don't know. I bet it doesn't encourage you to get me better presents next time.
Come on, just let me have it. Don't be my girlfriend for a sec. Just be my manager. I want to hear your honest, professional feedback.
The same feedback I would give any other comedian that I manage if they audition that same stuff for me?
That's what I want.
Fine. Howie, I'll say it. That whole performance, it felt like a prank. Like the only joke was on me that you actually got me to sit through the whole thing.
I admit, there's a lot of setup.
No, the whole thing was set up. Right. I started to think you were in character as a completely different comedian with this deliberately weird and terrible material. Like the whole thing was all meta, like Andy Kaufman playing Tony Clifton.
Andy Kaufman was a genius.
Sorry, that was a bad comparison. I did not mean to suggest that you're a genius at all.
Look, you look like you were into it, like your eyes were wide open, like you were really focused on what I was saying.
Something definitely happened to me while I was listening to you. Like I couldn't physically stop listening to you. But didn't you think it was odd that I wasn't actually laughing at any point?
No, I just figured...
What? What did you just figure? That I was saving up all my laughs until you were done, and then I'd bust out with some giant, uncontrollable wave of laughter and tell you how hilarious it all was? Because... no.
Look, I did warn you to expect something different.
Yes, but I guess I still expected to hear jokes. Howie. Sweetie. That was really horrible. No, I'm serious. Don't ever show that to your manager, because she'll hate it.
That's not funny.
Which is sort of in keeping with the theme we've got going here.
Come on!
I think it's really good that you're pushing yourself as an artist, but I don't think an actual audience would really get your new act, kind of, at all.
I think there are people who would laugh at that act.
0% of audiences would laugh at that act.
Oh, really? 0%?
0%'s my estimate, yeah.
Based on what?
Based on ever having been in a comedy club in my life?
Maybe that's your problem. See, you've been managing comedians for so long, you're too jaded to see it, but I think audiences actually do want something different, something visionary. That's what I'm trying to do here. It's the juxtaposition of unexpected elements that makes it work.
Except that it doesn't actually work.
It does work because of the underlying vision that infuses the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. No one is expecting vision when they go to a comedy club.
If I only ever do what people expect, I'll just be mediocre forever.
Could be worse. I see 1,000 comics a year who will never be as mediocre as you.
Well, I guess we'll find out what people think soon enough. Boston's only a couple weeks away.
No, you're not performing that stuff on this tour.
This is all I've been working on.
Then you'll have to do your old set!
The same exact set I performed in the same exact clubs 3 months ago?
You're not going to put your entire career at risk, not to mention my career booking comedians in these clubs. I want you to swear on your grandmother's grave that you won't perform that stuff.
Insert obligatory joke about how my grandmother is still alive.
Yes, insert obligatory jokes that have punchlines that are the kind of jokes that got you a manager and a career in the first place. But you will not set foot on stage in Boston or anywhere else on this tour and try that visionary stuff. Do you understand me?
Fine.
Really?
Yeah, fine, I swear.
Are you pissed at me?
No, look, you're absolutely the boss. You got us this far. I perhaps foolishly asked you for your honest opinion. I trust you. I always trust you. I'll tell you what, though. I know an open mic night we could hit before the tour starts. Small college town, off the circuit, never played there before. Probably no one there will even know who I am.
I'm listening.
We go there. I'll probably get 5 minutes, tops, and I will perform my new material.
In front of live human beings?
Yes. And I will bet you $5,000 that if I cannot get 3 individual laughs in 5 minutes, you get $5,000.
Oh, and you just randomly have $5,000 floating around for this occasion?
Yeah, I finally took back all those presents from under the couch. But if I do get 3 laughs, then I will perform my new material on this tour.
No way.
Then I will perform snippets of my new material on this tour.
Absolutely
I will
not.
perform snippets on the last night of this tour.
No fucking
After
way.
the audience has left, and it's just like janitors out in the house.
The janitors might have dogs. Okay. How about if you do get 3 laughs, I'll spend Christmas with your family this year.
Oh, really?
Not Christmas Eve, just Christmas Day.
Of course.
And I'll make my own food while I'm there.
Naturally.
And I'm not gonna make eye contact with anybody.
I accept the revised terms of our wager.
It'll be good for you to just get this out of your system. Where's this open mic night?
Arkham, Massachusetts.
Okay. You guys are in for a treat. He's just about to kick off another East Coast tour, but he is here tonight to try out some new stuff for you guys. All the way from Providence. First time ever on our stage. Please show some love to Mr. Howie Lovecraft. Come on! Thank you very much.
So these 2 guys walk into a bar, and the bartender says, "What are you guys drinking?" And the first guy looks at the bartender and he says, "Fun blue, wagnaf, Cthulhu, Rilya, Wagnal, Ftong." And the bartender looks at him kind of funny, and he says, "I'm sorry, I didn't get that. What are you drinking?" The first guy just kind of smiles and nods, and he says, "Fun blue, Wagnaf, Cthulhu, Rilya, Wagnal, Ftong." And the bartender still doesn't understand him. He says, "I'm sorry, pal, do you speak English?" And that's when the second guy leans over and he says, "Oh, allow me to translate for my friend here. The passage that he's chanting means roughly, In his house at Rilya, dead Cthulhu waits dreaming. To which the bartender replies, so he's not ordering a drink? And the second guy says, sir, this man's mind has been ravaged by unspeakable knowledge. He has seen horrible things beyond the stars that cannot be unseen, and worse, these horrible things have also seen him and corrupted him completely. Do you think, sir, he is capable of ordering a drink? To which the bartender replies, well, he was capable of walking into a bar, wasn't he? And this cracks the second guy up, and he says, sure, I mean, if his emptied out, formerly human husk getting puppeted around by mind-devouring aliens from beyond our conception of space and time is your idea of walking, then yeah, sure, you just walk right in here. Just then the waitress comes over. Her name is Marianne. She hands the guys a couple of menus, and she says, hey, fellas, we're on happy hour, $1 off wells and appetizers. Would you like to hear about the special? And the first guy looks at Marianne, and he says, Funglui, Wagnaf, Cthulhu, Rilya, Wagna, Ftong. And Marianne gets this look on her face, and she says, yes, truly, but that which dreams will someday rise. And when the great old one Cthulhu abandons his desolate temple Rilya and ascends from the blackest ocean depths, no happy hour menu will satisfy his ravenous hunger! Interesting trivia about Marianne. She was born with gills and she can breathe underwater. Anyway, my name is Howie Lovecraft. I like to tell that story as a joke, but in reality, that bartender was me. Before I became a comedian, I tended bar over in Innsmouth, Massachusetts. How many people here tonight are from Innsmouth? Right? Not sure you're from Innsmouth. Most people really don't like to admit they're from Innsmouth. I myself didn't live there. I lived in Ipswich, kind of a small suburb of Innsmouth. Not as many Gill people living in Ipswich. Just a small population of Gill people in Ipswich. You'd forget they were there sometimes, then you'd be checking out at the supermarket at 3 in the morning and the checkout lady's gills would flap at you. Because they're useless out of water. And anyway, one day, this is a true story, Obed Marsh comes into my bar with his half-witted manservant Maurice. And we get to talking, I buy him a few shots, and he starts bragging about how he's the high priest of the esoteric order of Dagon. And pretty soon he's busting out his first edition copy of Abdul al-Hazred's terrible grimoire, the Necronomicon. Now, how many people here tonight have only read the Kindle edition of the Necronomicon? Most people. I mean, even on a retina display, you cannot tell that the ink is actually blood. You just miss so much. I'm an old-fashioned guy myself. I like the feel of a book. I like the smell of a book, and first edition Necronomicon is bound with human skin, so you do smell it. But then, so he sets the book down on the bar and shows me a page, and suddenly I'm having this incredibly vivid dream, and in the dream I'm underwater, deep below the surface of the ocean, floating through the submerged ruins of an ancient temple, and I'm filled with unspeakable dread, because even though no light can penetrate the blackness of these murky depths, I recognize these ruins. This temple is Rilya, and suddenly I am swept into the presence of a horrifying creature, hundreds of feet tall, a morass of tentacles floating gently around its gaping maw, reclining against the wreckage of a sunken ship, its unfortunate crew long ago consumed consumed by this, the great old one, Cthulhu, ancient beyond reckoning, born beyond the stars. And even though he sleeps, his tentacles wrap themselves around me in a sickening embrace, and I realize that I have been chosen to be the herald of the end times, announcing Cthulhu's imminent awakening. For soon he shall rise from the depths to cleanse the surface world of this blight called human life. Anyway, you guys have been a great audience. Thank you so much for having me. Good night, Arkham!
I counted 3 laughs. No, the retina display joke, got a laugh.
That was somebody coughing.
And when the checkout lady's gills were flapping out of water.
Coughing. No, the predominant sound in the room was the sound of people staring at you in disbelief. Seriously, what do you imagine is actually funny about a town full of gill people?
Well, it's my delivery.
Gill people are gross.
Look, the point is, this routine is about the juxtaposition of unexpected
A
elements.
book made out of human skin is just gross, Howie.
Mr. Lovecraft, what an honor to have you on our stage tonight.
Thank you, Gus, for having me last minute. Hey, this is my manager, Sonia Green.
Miss Green, thank you for escorting Mr. Lovecraft all the way to Arkham.
Oh, Howie's been experimenting with some new material. Sorry you had to be the guinea pig.
Oh, my treat. My treat. I was listening back in my office while I was doing the books. You should have heard me. The bit where the human husk puppeted by an alien walked into a bar, laughed my head off. And then just casually mentioning that Marianne had gills, nearly choked. I was laughing so hard. Oh, and God, when the checkout lady's gills are flapping because they're useless. I mean, it's funny because it's true, right?
Would you say that you laughed at least 3 times, Gus?
Oh, absolutely.
That's interesting because I was out in the house during the show and I didn't hear any laughs.
Well, that's a pretty cerebral routine you got there. The kind of thing people sort of nod and appreciate even if they don't laugh out loud.
How do you think that routine would play in Boston?
Who knows? But Arkham is full of cerebral types and they are buzzing about you on the internet. Listen to this. Howie Lovecraft says he is the herald of the end times in his new set. Time to cash out the trust fund and go on a killing spree. Now that is good buzz. How much of that new material do you have? I could bump my Friday night headliner here if you want to try out a full set.
Really?
Sure thing. And I bet I could squeeze you onto my Saturday bill at my other club in Innsmouth. Could be big. There's a growing cult scene out here that's hungry for smart comedy about the pantheon of ancient elder gods. Also, they like karaoke. They kill old Stevie Nicks tracks. You know what I'm saying? These are your people.
That's sweet. But Howie's got to work on his actual set for the actual tour.
I have a set for the tour.
The same set you did in the same clubs 3 months ago?
No one is going to remember that set.
You're a brat, Howie. You know that? You want to headline shows out here in the sticks? Be my guest. But you better be on your game when you get to Boston. Let's go back to the hotel.
Actually, Mr. Lovecraft, I would love to buy you a drink if you wouldn't mind staying a bit longer.
I could use a nightcap. You sure you don't want to stay?
Positive. I gotta drive back to Providence in the morning. Actually, I wasn't being fair. I don't think the predominant sound was people staring in disbelief.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was weird. I think there was a lot of actual belief going on.
That's got to be worth something, huh?
Maybe. I mean, it's not worth $5,000.
About that, I did return those presents. They were worth about $18.
Uh-huh. You wonder why I wasn't impressed by them.
You spun quite an interesting tale tonight.
Thank you. Yeah, you know, Sonia doesn't really get it.
How much of your story is true?
What?
Did you actually meet the high priest of the esoteric order of Dagon in a bar?
That's kind of a strange question.
Well, don't be coy. Did he actually show you a first edition of the Necronomicon?
So, this routine is about the juxtaposition of unexpected elements.
Does Obed Marsh know that when he showed you his book, he actually awakened the long-awaited herald of the end times? You may confide in me, Mr. Lovecraft. I too am a worshipper of Father Dagon and Mother Hydra.
I'm not.
I too have made blood sacrifice to the deep
I
ones.
never.
I too have studied the forbidden pages of the Necronomicon. Well, it was an adaptation, actually, a graphic novel, but still very good. Tell me, did you actually visit the Temple Rilia in your dreams?
Yeah, actually, I did.
That must have been rad.
It was pretty rad.
What do you remember about Obed Marsh?
I can't remember his face really, but he set the Necronomicon down on my bar. He opened it up to a specific page, and when I read that page, I received a vision.
A vision of the end times.
No. A vision of a secret alien form of comedy. A juxtaposition of unexpected elements.
Why do you think he chose you to receive this comedy vision?
Just lucky, I guess.
I'm gonna tweet about your Friday show here. Howie the Herald Lovecraft, backed by popular demand. Mention Azathoth, blind idiot god at the center of the universe, and get $1 off. I mean, normally you wouldn't want a bunch of people randomly invoking Azathoth, but fuck it. The Herald of the End Times is already here, am I right?
You really think people are gonna come?
I do. You think Cthulhu's going to rise?
Oh, I mean, someday, sure, probably. I didn't really receive any specific schedule information. And technically, on the galactic time scale, the end times could last for eons, you know?
Most people live their whole lives and never swim through Rilia in their dreams. But you're the Herald. You've got purpose in an otherwise bleak and existentially pointless universe.
I guess so.
Don't get all cocky about it. You'll be consumed just like the rest of us when the great old one rises.
Oh, yes, that's definitely true.
Anyway, I'm sorry. Let me get you a beer.
Oh, I could use something stronger.
Whiskey.
Heroin, if you have it.
I'll see what I can find.
How did you learn about...
I got family in Innsmouth.
Are they...
Yeah, they're Gill people.
Dude, I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry.
No, I was talking trash about
I
Gill
don't
people.
care. They're fucking gross.
Thanks to Gus's enthusiastic promotion, Howie's Friday night show in Arkham was a sold-out smash.
You guys are really going to like this. I launched my first ever Kickstarter campaign the other day. It's a really great project. I'm going to build a massive black chapel to the unholy demon choir that constantly sings to me in my mind, endlessly chanting the unpronounceable secret names of the ancient evil entities that will someday consume us. I figured, hey, why should I be the only one tormented by their insidious anti-melodies? Why not build a massive black chapel for the unholy demon choir to puncture their way right into my neighborhood with their terrible aesthetic desecrations? I mean, wait till you hear this stuff. It's really not what music was intended to do. At all. Any donation helps. At the $5 level, you'll be rewarded with a vague sense that contributing to this campaign wasn't really such a great idea. At the $50 level, the demon choir's unnatural voices will slowly begin to replace any moments of peace and silence in your mind with their vulgar, despair-inducing canticles. At the $75 level, you get a t-shirt. One size fits no one, constricting you in ways that feel pleasant at first. And of course, at the $100 level, you get a chance to sit in with the demon choir during one of their rehearsals, which, as you know, they love to use the sound of terrified humans shrieking as kind of a percussion instrument, so that's a great opportunity if you're a musician or if you like screaming. And then only a few of these rewards are available. At the $500 level, a few lucky donors will be physically embedded deep within the walls of the Black Chapel itself, where they will truly feel the sickening resonance of these infernal lullabies vibrating throughout their helpless skeletal and nervous systems. Oh, and you get a CD.
Buzz about Howie's performance spread like wildfire, and his Saturday night show in Innsmouth had crowds lining up around the block.
How's it look?
There's crowds lining up around the block.
I mean, how do they look?
Oh, I didn't see any.
You sure?
They're usually pretty obvious.
Yeah, all right. The Gill people jokes, stay in.
They could be hiding their gills under a scarf.
Damn it, we're cutting the Gill People jokes. I mean, of course, this is Innsmouth. Obviously, there will be Gill People out there.
It's kind of racist making fun of them in the first place.
It's not racist. It's like making fun of rednecks. You can totally make fun of rednecks, but just not in Alabama. And you can make fun of Gill People, but just not in Innsmouth.
I don't know, man. When you make fun of rednecks, you're making fun of their behavior, really. Whereas Gill People, I mean, it's not their fault they were born the hybrid offspring of immortal amphibian creatures and they're pathetic human worshippers.
I said I was cutting the Gill People jokes.
I'm just making a point about your belief system.
You said Gill People were gross.
I meant my family was gross. We were talking about my family when I said that. In-laws, by the way.
Uh-huh. And what's so gross about your family?
It's not their gills, it's their eyes. Big bulging eyes that never blink because they have no eyelids. I bet you never noticed they have no eyelids because you always try to avoid Gill People because you're a racist.
Oh, come on, man. Just because you married outside your species doesn't make you morally superior.
As the buzz continued to build, Howie quickly booked gigs in Cambridge and Salem in the last remaining days before his official tour began.
I don't know what you heard about my show. You might have heard that I'm a stand-up comedian. But I am starting to get into the cult scene. There's a lot of really great cults out in this part of the country. Well, how many cultists do we have out there tonight? About half? Perfect. Who's here representing the Esoteric Order of Dagon? Give it up for Dagon. Wonderful. Thank you so much for coming. How about the Cult of the Black Goat? Do we have any Black Goat cultists out there tonight? Hey, wonderful. It's like they say, Aya Shub Nagurov, am I right? Interesting trivia about Shub Nagurov. She's most often referred to by her full ceremonial name, the Black Goat of the Woods with 1,000 young. Now, how many mothers do we have out there tonight? I want you to close your eyes and imagine giving birth 1,000 times. And each time it's this horrid little, it's like a basketball, but it's a fleshy little mouth blob full of teeth. No eyes, just a mouth and teeth running around on these stumpy little pig legs. And it only eats human flesh. And you give birth to 1,000 of these things. All by yourself, too, because the very first one would, like, eat the midwife or whatever. Cool, I don't have a joke here, I just wanted you to imagine that.
Howie's Boston show sold out days in advance, and the buzz was clear. People were coming to see the herald of the end times. Howie's career was at a tipping point, but he had made a promise to Sonia, who joined him backstage before the show.
Come on, Frank, it's the hole you used to feed yourself. If you do this, there is no turning back. All right, Arkham and Innsmouth are one thing, but Boston's different. Everything you say on stage tonight is gonna wind up on YouTube. You go out there tonight with that visionary stuff, and for the rest of your career, you're just gonna be the guy who does the Gill People jokes. Is that what you want?
I stopped doing the Gill People jokes.
You know what I mean!
I never did that many Gill People jokes in the first place.
What are you doing instead?
Well, I have this great new bit where Nyarlathotep can't decide what to get Azathoth for Father's Day. And the joke is, Azathoth is a blind idiot god who desires only destruction. Oh, it's kind of a cheesy setup, I know, but it works because I do this funny voice for Nyarlathotep.
Totally killing me with this shit! I don't understand why anyone would spend good American money to hear this shit! It's like some giant postmodern stunt at my expense! Half the people in line outside the club right now are wearing hooded robes and chanting, like they actually worship the gods in your
They
routine.
probably do.
Come on! The gods in your routine want to destroy all life on Earth!
Kind of the only rational response to the human race, don't you think?
Of course I don't think that!
Look, I will do my old routine, if that's what you want. I promised you I would.
Just did people actually laugh in Cambridge or Salem?
People were entranced, for sure. It's like I go on stage, I start talking, everything seems normal at first. And then suddenly we all go into a shared dream. It's like we're all underwater. We're tiny, mindless plankton floating in a murky cesspool. And then two horrible glowing eyes fix their gaze upon us, and we dissolve into nothingness. And then people are clapping, and I'm backstage, and somebody usually hands me a beer. So I mean, technically, no, they're not laughing very much, but they're buying tickets. They're tweeting, and they're buying tickets. The stars are finally lining up in our favor, you know?
Do whatever you want.
Why are you so sad about this?
Because I don't understand you anymore. I mean, I was entranced too the first time I heard it, but all these people seem to understand what it means, and I just don't. And I just feel left out or left behind. You know, I'm really trying to keep up with you. You know, I looked for the Kindle edition of the Necronomicon. That bit was bullshit, wasn't it?
Yeah, I made that up. You actually looked for it, though?
You keep acting like it's real, so yeah, I looked for it.
The Necronomicon is real. When the tour is over, I will track down a first edition for you.
No, gross, no, I specifically want a non-human skin edition.
The moment of truth finally arrived as Howie Lovecraft took the stage in Boston, and with Sonia's blessing, he performed his visionary new material.
A lot of history here in Boston. I was reading about the Boston Massacre. You know how many people actually died in the Boston Massacre? 5 people. That's not a massacre, that's an afternoon snack. For Cthulhu. Because he eats people. Anyway, I heard there were going to be quite a few cultists in the house tonight, so I prepared a joke especially for the cultists. Now, if you're not a cultist, don't worry, there's plenty of normal comedy jokes coming up that everyone can enjoy, but please bear with me, because I do want to perform this joke that I prepared for my fans who are cultists. And if you are a cultist, this is a joke that you can memorize and take back to impress your high priest or your high priestess. Here we go. So this acolyte in the Order of Yog-Sothoth is summoning a Migo to remove her brain from her body and transport it safely to the outer edge of the galaxy in a shiny metal brain cylinder. Just then, who should appear but Nyarlathotep, the crawling chaos, god of 1,000 forms. And he interrupts the incantation, and he says to the acolyte, "Why do you trust the abominable ones to transport your brain safely to the outer edge of the galaxy? What if instead they trick you and implant your brain inside a demon?" Well, this infuriates the acolyte. She goes and gets several parchment pages from the Pnakotic manuscripts, transcribed by Dr. John Dee himself, and she looks Nyarlathotep right in the eye and she reads to him. She says, "Amigo thus summoned is bound to transport the spellcaster's brain across any distance until it thus reaches the Shoggoth." So the acolyte finishes the incantation, summons the Migo. The Migo removes her brain from her body. But sure enough, instead of transporting it safely to the outer edge of the galaxy in a shiny metal brain cylinder, the Migo tricks her and implants her brain inside a demon. And just before the acolyte goes mad from shock and horror, Nyarlathotep leans over and he says, "It says Shoggoth, not Yuggoth." Were those cultists supposed to be here at this show, or 10:30?
That was amazing! Nobody asked for their money back! Someone's here to see you.
Did you bring me a groupie? You know, I think they're naked underneath those robes.
I did not bring you a groupie, asshat.
Good show, Mr. Lovecraft.
Gus, I didn't know you were out there.
I couldn't miss the official opening night of your tour. I feel like I played a small part in your success after all.
be back in a few minutes.
What's this?
An opening night gift. Go on. Open it. Yes, Mr. Lovecraft. You've seen that book before.
Is this?
Yes, Mr. Lovecraft. You are holding the Necronomicon.
Is it?
Yes, Mr. Lovecraft. It is the same first edition you once read at a bar in Innsmouth.
Were you?
Yes, Mr. Lovecraft. I was there that fateful night, although you do not remember my face.
Are you?
Yes, Mr. Lovecraft. Sometimes it pleases me to wear the form of Obed Marsh as I walk this wretched planet. But my true name is actually Neel the crawling chaos, god of 1,000 forms!
Why are you?
You must be wondering why I'm here on the eve of your great comedic triumph. I am here on behalf of the All-Mother Shabnagura, who demands payment for a vision we granted you, a vision of a secret alien form of comedy. Or did you believe, foolish herald, that your sudden success came without a price?
I never...
It did not come without a price! There is definitely a price! Open the book, Mr. Lovecraft, and discover the tally for your success. Open the Necronomicon to page 243, Mr. Lovecraft.
I don't...
And study closely the second footnote at the bottom of the page.
I'm not...
Do it! Do it now! 243! The second footnote.
Some scholars believe the correct translation of this phrase is actually bread pudding.
I'm at 247, Mr. Lovecraft. Read it now.
But he who becomes the herald of this secret alien form of comedy must pay a steep and horrible price. He must build a black altar to the All-Mother Shub-Niggurath, upon which he must spill the blood of the one he loves most. Only with this blood sacrifice will Shub-Niggurath be appeased.
You entered into a contract with me when you gazed upon the Necronomicon in your bar. I am the executor of this contract as the avatar of the outer gods in your reality.
But I didn't know I was entering into a contract!
Your pathetic human ignorance is no excuse, Mr. Lovecraft. You must sacrifice Sonia Green to appease Shub-Niggurath.
Maybe.
The footnote is very clear on this topic.
Yeah, but it doesn't say what'll happen if I don't appease Shub-Niggurath.
Horrible things will happen, I assure you.
What horrible things specifically?
Things? Too horrible to express in human language.
Just give me a range. Like on a scale of getting a parking ticket to Cthulhu waking up and destroying the Earth. Is it like in the middle somewhere?
It is more horrible than the middle of the scale you describe.
What if I don't kill Sonia and just wait for Cthulhu to rise, since that's gonna happen anyway?
Shub-Niggurath will punish you long before Cthulhu awakens.
Where does it say that?
The third footnote! Read it now!
Damn, it's so specific!
You will appease Shub-Niggurath before your tour is over, or I will claim your soul, and you will spend an eternity of torment playing the flute in the court of my dread father, Azathoth!
I hate the flute!
I told you horrible things!
Car's outside. You want to come back to the hotel with us for a nightcap, Gus?
Sorry, the last Greyhound to Arkham leaves soon and I have to be on it, so I can feed my kitten Snowball in the morning. But I'm sure I'll see you both again before your tour is over. Because I have tickets to additional shows.
What you got there? Is that from Gus?
It's the Necronomicon. Human Skin Edition.
And you're touching it with your bare hands? Gross!
Read the second and third footnotes on that page.
That's so specific.
I know.
Damn it, Howie! I am supposed to review all of your contracts.
I know.
I'm a contract lawyer. I'm your manager.
I know. Look, how many more tour dates do you think you could schedule?
Probably quite a few. I mean, you're hot right now, but you can't tour forever.
Why not?
There's only so many times you can hit the same markets over and over again without a break to develop new material. Your audience will get bored with you. Your routine will turn into shtick.
I'll never let that happen. Maybe I can find new material in the Necronomicon.
Oh, absolutely not. You've made it perfectly clear you can't be trusted with the secrets in this book. I'm touching dead human skin right now.
You are.
Feels like leather.
Technically, any preserved skin is leather. Oh, and check out the blood ink.
Please be quiet. So this is it. The arcane source of your visionary comedy.
I mean, I do add my own personal flair to it.
It's really hurting my brain to read this.
You don't have to keep reading it.
No, I totally have to keep reading it. I have to keep reading it a lot.
I know. I went into a trance the first time I read it.
Brain, my whole face. I mean, it's like a red-hot psychic cheese grater, but I can't stop grating.
You could maybe try reading a different page.
Why did you wait so long? You've had this power since before we ever even met. Why didn't you use it sooner?
I needed to learn proper comedy basics first. I mean, that's some advanced comedy in that book. You gotta have the fundamentals ingrained before you go layering in that elite alien stuff. All these years, you know, if you hadn't believed in me...
Whoa. This never would have happened? So it's my fault you have to sacrifice me on a black altar.
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I just mean, these past couple days, performing my new material for people who genuinely understand it and love it, it's been the pinnacle of my career as a comedian, as a person. I never could have done it without you. I only ever just wanted to make you proud of me.
Okay, well, maybe I can find a loophole. All right, maybe like a footnote that he overlooked.
If it's an option, baby, I would happily trade my life for yours.
Howie, you would?
I mean, not happily.
Sonia extended the tour beyond the East Coast, and they traveled all over the United States, postponing the inevitable day when Nyarlathotep would come to demand a blood sacrifice. The seemingly endless tour was a grueling nightmare for Howie.
How many elder things does it take to screw in a light bulb? None, because elder things reproduce asexually via spores.
It's funny because it's true!
Sonia became an avid student of the Necronomicon, teaching herself the dark arts described within, hoping to discover a power that could save her life. But they could not see for themselves how the book's constant malevolent presence in their lives swiftly drove both Sonia and Howie toward madness.
Did you bring it?
Not exactly. I brought this.
No, this is not a live goat.
I couldn't find a live goat at 10:30 at night. I asked...
The ritual calls for a live goat.
I know, I'm sorry. Look, one of the cultists brought her dog to the show. I thought it would work. I mean, I asked the club owner where I could find a live goat to slaughter first thing in the morning, and he said, "Here is your money. Please go somewhere else now."
Shub-Nagurath will be happy with this substitution.
You're not even consecrated to Shub-Nagurath. The whole ritual's probably going to be blasphemy in the first place.
Oh, listen to you. Now you're the expert in ritual blood magic.
And you're just a contract lawyer, which... Oh, I do see the similarity.
I think you're just getting squeamish about the sacrifice. Listen, this book is no bullshit. Cover to cover, blood magic and death magic. Almost every ritual or spell I have studied so far requires a sacrifice.
But what do we get if we sacrifice this dog?
We get power. I'm teaching myself to be a wizard of the dark arts in case you gonna learn enough spellcraft to kick Neel Lothotep's lying face in.
But how is that gonna appease Shub-Niggurath?
No, it's not. It's just gonna make me feel good. I haven't found anything better yet! Look, even if I do find a loophole, some ritual or counterspell that will magically appease Shub-Niggurath without you killing me, it'll almost certainly require some other sacrifice. We're not getting out of this for free, Howie. I need to know that you can handle that sacrifice, especially if it will save my life.
Did it work?
Oh, yeah, so next time you should actually let me do the ritual first. The sacrifice is at the end!
The necromancer's madness steadily crept over Howie's performances, signaling ever more strongly to his followers that the end times were truly now.
I got a fucking friend request the other day from Cthulhu! I'm like, aren't you supposed to be asleep in your fancy temple of Rilyar or some shit? But no, I guess he tapped an undersea fiber optic cable. Now he's got a fat pipe and he doesn't know what to do with it. I'm like, if you're bored, why don't you try destroying civilization like you promised? Or a free trial to Netflix. But no, he's gotta bug me, and of course it's so hard for him to type with all of his tentacles, so he just pokes me 4,000 times a day. Yes, Cthulhu using Facebook poke is timely observational humor. On the galactic time scale, Facebook poke is still a cutting-edge feature. Fuck you, I'm the Herald! Anyway, Facebook is a fucking sign of the end times.
Finally, with her survival at stake, Sonia's relentless studies produced a meaningful breakthrough that could save her life.
Okay, see? Neel Lothotep is the servitor of the outer gods, but he isn't like any of them. I mean, the great old one, Cthulhu, sleeps and dreams below the ocean. The blind idiot god Azathoth rides in the center of the universe, hypnotized by invisible flutes and drums. Yog-Sothoth is the gate to our universe, and yet he's trapped outside of it, smeared across space and time. But, Neel Lothotep takes human form and walks among us. He enjoys deceiving us and manipulating us, not consuming us or destroying us.
What is your point?
He tricked you into this situation by acting like a human. Maybe you can trick him in return while he's still in human form. I mean, the whole bargain is sealed in human concepts in the first place, but human concepts are inherently ephemeral because language itself is susceptible to constantly changing definitions. So, maybe for some limited window of time, you can change a definition for yourself. You can change how you feel about love. You can change how you feel about loving me. You can love someone else more than me just for a little while.
I guess with enough booze.
No! With this big fucking bag of ecstasy I scored on. I'll get lost for the night. You go back to the hotel suite. You take as much ecstasy as you can swallow, and you love someone else more than you love me. Not forever.
Wait.
Just long enough.
You want me to...
I have prepared a black altar in the bedroom of the suite. I mean, I put black sheets on the bed. I think that should work.
Fuck am I...
I brought you a groupie. This is Janine.
Come on.
She is a consecrated high priestess in the cult of the Black Goat.
Come on.
Janine, to the All-Mother.
Come on!
Truly, it is an honor for me to be chosen by the Herald for this sacrifice. My sect will be venerated among the most wicked of all believers. Believe me when I tell you, I want my lifeblood to flow.
Howie! You are the herald of the end times! Alright, the end times are just coming a little early for Janine.
Are you naked underneath that robe?
Fucking totally.
Alright, let's do this thing.
Sonia kept vigil in the hotel lobby. The pages of the Necronomicon were cold comfort to her that night. Each footnote another nail in the coffin of her soul. In the dark moments just before dawn, her conscience faltered, and she tried to stop Howie before it was too late.
Howie! Howie, it's me! It's Sonia! Are you okay? Is everything okay, baby?
Sonia! I couldn't do it! I'm sorry! I took all of the pills that you gave me. And I still couldn't do it.
It's okay. It's okay.
It was a good plan. It should have worked. I'm so sorry. It should have worked. But I couldn't do it.
It's okay. It's okay, Howie. Howie, look at me.
Oh, pretty.
Where's Janine?
In the bedroom.
I'm gonna ask Janine to leave. Howie? Janine is dead!
I know.
I thought you said you couldn't do it!
I couldn't love her. Of course I could kill her. That part was easy. I mean, I didn't use that knife you gave me because this is a very nice white robe. I know how blood likes to spray. So I strangled her. Look, I almost loved her as much as I love you because killing her would have been saving you. But as I watched the life go out of her dead eyes, I realized her dead eyes could never be as pretty as your dead eyes. My heart betrayed me because it was you I wished I was strangling to death and not Janine at all.
Adorable. Who's the dead guy on the floor in there?
Oh, room service. I figured if I was still high, I would try again. I didn't wind up loving that guy very much.
What are we gonna do?
Well, what I would like to do is a shit ton of muscle relaxants. My jaw will not stop clenching. This is a very common side effect of ecstasy, along with elevated body temperature and inappropriate back rubbing.
I'm serious, Howie! Eventually this tumor's gonna end, and you're gonna have to choose. Let me or Lothotep torment you for all eternity, or kill me on the black altar just like he wants.
I could never kill you on the black altar. Not unless you help me shove Janine's body off of it. I couldn't move her. I'm just kidding.
What are we gonna do?
Well, I haven't read the Necronomicon as much as you have, so let me ask you. Have you come across any spells or rituals or incantations, anything that would help us summon muscle relaxants? Or just something to help with jaw clenching? I'm kidding, it's just, look, although wouldn't that be ironic if eternal jaw clenching was my punishment? I mean, if it was going to be eternal jaw clenching, you would be on the black altar so fast. I said I was kidding. I keep saying that. Look, I'm sorry, Sonia, I know I let you down here, but I'm starting to have an idea.
Oh, really?
Yes. I want you to send out a press release. Tonight's gonna be my last show. We're canceling the tour, and I'm gonna retire from stand-up comedy. Make sure the whole world knows about it. I want to make sure Gus is in the audience tonight.
What good will that do?
That which dreams will someday rise, Sonia. I just gotta set off the alarm clock.
I don't get it.
Well, I'm the herald of the end times. I'm gonna figure out how to summon Cthulhu from the bottom of the ocean.
What good will that do?
I don't know, I'm improvising. A little help would be nice.
Fine, how do you imagine we'll survive after you summon Cthulhu from beneath the ocean?
We could have Migos remove our brains from our body and transport them to the outer edge of the galaxy in shiny metal brain cylinders.
No!
Sonia, we're improvising. Don't say no, say yes and.
Summoning Cthulhu to destroy the world is not the solution. Just
Well, your solution didn't work!
think.
Anyway, you came up here to stop me, didn't you? But I'm glad I killed Janine, because now I know that I would rather Cthulhu destroys the whole Earth than have to kill you with my own bare hands.
Oh, that's sweet. No, actually, that's not sweet at all.
It's kind of sweet.
No, it isn't. It's horrible. Just let me think.
I wonder if we're just going crazy like the mad Arab Abdul al-Hazred and everyone else who spent too much time in the presence of the Necronomicon.
I bet that's why Gus gave it to you in the first place. He knew the only way you'd agree to spill the blood of the one you love the most is after you've been driven insane and lost your moral compass.
Or it was stupid and random because he is the son of a blind idiot god.
It's also a possibility.
Look at me. Why don't you just run as far away from me as possible? I can't kill you on a black altar if I have no idea where in the world you are.
No way. You still owe me $5,000. Besides, I think you were onto something. I'll send out that press release about canceling the tour.
I know that look. You've got a plan.
We've got until tonight to find a loophole. We're gonna scour every single page of this book one last time. Either we find a loophole in the next 12 hours, or we give Shubna Gurth what she wants. This ends tonight, one way or another. Now let's get breakfast!
I think we'll have to go out. I don't think they'll send up more room service.
And so word spread across the land of Howie the Herald Lovecraft's final performance. His fans were stunned, and the concert hall was filled beyond capacity with teary-eyed cultists preparing to say goodbye to their idol. Finally, Howie appeared on stage to the roar of the crowd. He calmed them with a soothing gesture and began to speak.
Man, all day today, people have been coming up to me like, hey, Howie, Lovecraft, why you quitting comedy at the top of your game? And I hadn't thought it through. I wanted to have the perfect answer for these people, you know. I've been like, Howie Lovecraft, why you quitting stand-up comedy? And the perfect answer would have been, oh, that's easy. I'm retiring to focus on fucking my way through a 20-mile tall mountain of sacrificial virgins. That's right, I'm going to descend onto this mountain by skydiving from a balloon 137,000 feet above the earth, setting the record for highest skydive from the stratosphere onto a mountain of virgins. Oh, but the challenge doesn't stop there, because the virgins on top are already freezing to death, and the ones on the bottom will be smothered by the corpses above them. I've got to act fast if I'm going to fuck a single live virgin in that entire mountain. I've just no time left for comedy, I'm afraid. No, but I do actually have a real reason for quitting. See, I used to be just a typical stand-up comedy comedian. I'd go into these dinky little clubs. I'd be like, hey, Hey, aren't men different from women? But then I got my big break. I was tending bar over in Innsmouth, Massachusetts. Innsmouth High School, of course, known for its undefeated swim team. And I got my big break. I came across a first edition of the infamous Kitab al-Azif, also known as the Necronomicon. Now, how many people here tonight have actually seen a first edition Necronomicon? Well, you're going to see one here tonight. Sonia, please bring out the Necronomicon. Now, Sonia, what did I learn from this book?
Forbidden knowledge of a secret alien comedy.
And who is my mentor in secret alien comedy? Obed Marsh. Ladies and gentlemen, I know he's out there somewhere. Can we get a spotlight for Mr. Obed Marsh?
You may refer to me by my true name, Mr. Lovecraft. For I am your lotto chip, the crawling chaos, God of 1,000 forms! I grow tired of your prattling, yes. You regret the forbidden knowledge of a secret alien comedy invented by the great race of Yith and buried deep within the Yithians' massive library on the planet Yith. Until the cunning wizard, Abdul al-Hazred, was granted a boon by the All-Mother Shub-Nagura. She swapped his mind and body for a day with the Yithian, and he wandered freely as a Yithian in the Yithian library of Yith. There he discovered the secret Yithian style of comedy, and upon his return to his own body, he hastily transcribed all he could remember, which was tough, because Yithians usually prefer a very physical style of comedy. It's hard to execute a Yithian Nazi without 4 claws and a cone-shaped body. And so, thanks to the will of Shub-Nagura, you have tasted the sweet, syrupy nectar of stand-up comedy success. Now she is due her blood sacrifice on the black altar, as the footnotes clearly specify.
Just one question before you get your sacrifice. Why'd you choose me in the first place?
I chose you completely at random, Mr. Lovecraft. I could have easily chosen a vagrant from across the street, but for absolutely no reason whatsoever, sheer whimsy led me into your bar, and simple boredom compelled me to open the Necronomicon for you. It made no difference to me what condition your mind would be in after the fact. I'm sure you must realize by now this is exactly how our universe itself operates, devoid of meaning, empty of conscience, unable to laugh at the best of its own jokes.
And that, my friends, is why I'm quitting stand-up comedy. Because it don't mean shit.
Now some of us still do appreciate the grand dramatic gesture now and again. I eagerly await your sacrifice of the lovely Sonia Green.
Sorry to break your heart, but I read those footnotes a zillion times. They clearly stipulate that Howie must spill the blood of the one he loves the most, which, allow me to inform you based on personal experience, is not actually me at all. It's Howie.
Stop. Is ecstasy a blood thinner?
I know.
A twist ending! How original! being a writer.
Your contract with Howie is satisfied.
I suppose so.
I'm not asking you, I'm telling you.
Shiki.
Shub-Nagurath has been appeased. Say it. Tell me she's been appeased.
Yes, congratulations, pathetic human. The All-Mother is appeased. Now, I want that first edition back.
Ali Ekmar Azathoth! Ali Bekmar Haluthet!
What are you doing, wretched woman?
Hand of Azathoth spell traps you in your current pathetic form for a night and a day. Helenius Migo Ekbarsuth! Migo Dakvinius Eyugeth!
Oh, what's happening to me? Make it stop, I beg you!
Oh, I summoned a Migo to remove your human brain and transport it to the outer edge of the galaxy. I did not request the shiny metal brain cylinder option.
You can't kill the crawling chaos! I'll be back for you someday, Sonia Green! I swear! Ow! Quit it! Ow! Quit it! Ow! Quit it!
And for my last trick. Howie! No, Howie, it's me! It's Sonia! How do you feel?
I could use some muscle relaxants.
After their ordeal, Howie Lovecraft and Sonia Green settled down in Arkham, Massachusetts. Sonia became a professor of applied arcana in the Department of Occult Studies at Miskatonic University, preparing for the inevitable return of Nyarlathotep, or the rise of something much worse. Howie bought a small bar near campus and hosted weekly open mic nights for budding young comedians. True to his word, he never set foot on stage again, and the locals soon learned never to ask about his days on tour as the Herald. But after many years passed, and time seemed to heal most wounds, Sonia did work up the courage to ask Howie a question of her own.
Howie, what was it like when you were dead?
Really? You want to go there?
I do. I want to know.
Why are you so curious all of a sudden?
I've been curious this whole time.
Why are you just now asking me?
I'm getting older. It's making me a lot more curious.
I don't remember being dead. The first thing I remember, literally the first thing, is waking up in this body and I'm confused and covered in blood and disoriented. And I look over and I see you. I don't recognize you, not yet. And you say, Howie? And that name sounds familiar for some reason. And suddenly I'm hammered with memories. And I'm starting to panic because they're not my memories. They're this body's memories. They're Howie's memories. And I'm Howie now, and I'm starting to freak out. And then you say, it's me. It's Sonia. And I'm flooded with this body's memories of you. That's when I fell in love with you for the first time. And I stopped panicking, and I stopped fighting, and I started claiming those memories and making them all mine.
Wait, but that wouldn't mean...
Howie, original recipe Howie, is long gone. You reanimated his corpse with that necromantic spell, but his soul had left the building, and his body became a beacon for the first formless entity in the void to come along, looking for an escape from eternal loneliness, looking for a home in your physical reality. Mind you, I don't remember any of that. I think being alone for eons in the void is the kind of thing any intelligent entity would try hard to forget at the first opportunity. I'm very happy with the way things turned out.
Are you fucking with me?
I'm totally fucking with you.